Welcome to Ain't You a Peach? I'm Jamie.
I'm Leprechaun. How are you today, my dear?
Sniffly.
Oh, not good.
Yeah, something's blooming. I don't know what it is. How about
It's
you?
an onion. Other than everything's pretty much good. I mean, usual, too short, too fat, too broke. But hey, that's two twos for everybody. I thought maybe today, seeing how last week we did movies or sex and whatnot in television and movies.
TV.
I was thinking maybe this week, right? To stay with the nostalgia kind of theme, if you will, and talk about toys way back when we was youngins and what toys are, up through kind of todayish. Thought that might be interesting.
Works for me.
Cool.
Well, first, let's get the daily hello.
You got it. I are ready. Oh, almost ready. Yep, there's the mariachis. Music maestro.
Oh.
I like that. It's so cheery. Good afternoon, my fellow Ain't You a Peachers. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's the 339th day with only 27 remaining in 2021. Today is World Soil Day. No, not your pants. That highlights the importance of healthy soil. One of the biggest concerns for the environment is soil degradation. And degradation is when the soil health declines due to improper use and poor management. Most Americans are familiar with what happened during the Great Depression. That dust storms were a frequent occurrence. Soil erosion caused these massive dust storms. It's also National Repeal Day. I can drink to that the day Prohibition ended. Yeehaw! Prohibition grew out of a practice of moderation rooted in Protestant churches in America. By the 1830s, consumption of alcohol, especially hard spirits, where's the bell? And spirits was affecting the nation. Most participants were male. Those who joined the temperance movement, saw alcohol as the root of all evil. The movement took hold at a time when women had few rights and the country was debating slavery. Ethics and mores were changing. The temperance movement shifted the view of alcohol use from moderation to eradication. It's also bathtub party day that encourages all to skip the ordinary shower and linger in the tub instead. At times, savers to plunk 2 or 3 of the youngins in the tub at once and get them all sudsed up and playing with the water toys. Some of the more memorable times of raising a children. It also saves on water while everyone has some good, clean fun. For adults, the benefits of a quiet soak in a tub add up quickly. The steamy bath during cold and flu season helps to clear our sinuses and improve our oxygen intake. It also increases circulation. The warm water reduces inflammation, easing aching joints and sore muscles. It also helps relieve stress. It's International Ninja Day. Hi-ya! Recognize the fascination associated with the history and pop culture of ninjas. Ninjas first appeared around the year 600. Historically, they served samurai warriors. It's also National Sacher Torte Day. Sacher Torte, also known as Sacher Torte, is a unique type of chocolate cake. Austrian Franz Sacher invented it in 1832, Vienna, and considers the Sacher one of their most important culinary specialties. It's day 630 of 14 to flatten the curve. Thank you, Liberty Lighthouse, who could be seen last night at 8 p.m. Eastern. All generalizations are false, including this one. Long hello today, weren't it?
Yeah, it was.
Well, what is so funny? Something struck your fancy.
Oh, me, oh my. I needed to be prepared for that one. I should have gone to American Pride Roasters and gotten me some coffee.
Ooh, that's some good stuff, Maynard.
If you haven't been over to APR, then you need to go check it out. And they've got really good prices and a lot of assortment of different coffees. They even have chocolate. I love the chocolate. They have Ron Sexual chocolate coffee, Brad's Brown Bag, Helen Taft, Off Track Blend. It's reasonably priced, quick shipping, and always tastes great. And right now they're doing the 2021 APR Advent Calendar, 25 unique flavors and blends of APR coffee, each packaged in a 1.5 ounce coffee bag and then hidden inside a multicolor burlap bag with a Christmas theme button for each day. They'll have the same 25 coffees. So if you buy 2 of them, they will not be put in there the same way. They'll all be in a different spot. They also have a few other Christmas things. So you'll have to go over to the website and look. And like I said, the chocolate is awesome. You buy a little chocolate bark. Tastes like coffee and chocolate, or chocolate and mint. I think they have caramels. They have all kinds of stuff besides just coffee. Go to www.americanprideroasters.com.
That's AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Don't forget about the Christmas basket. December 15th is the final day to get in on that giddy up go round.
So first, we're going to start with the 1960s toys. So I don't know how many of y'all were born back in the 60s. So we're going to talk about some of the toys back then.
No, I was around in the 60s. The 60s were a golden era for toys. Kids had countless more toys to choose from compared to previous decades, and parents spent more on their kids also, combined with the bigger families in general, and that leads to an influx of cash streaming into the toy industry. Toys like G.I. Joe, Twister, Operation can still be found on store shelves around the world today. They came from the 60s. Boys still love to play war. Girls still loved kitchen sets. But toy manufacturers were making toys electronic and way possible. If a toy was electric, that meant it was new. One unmistakable difference between toys in the 60s and toys before that was licensing. Before that, they didn't license it. After the 60s, licensing became huge, especially with Batman-themed toys. They flew off the shelf. Toy makers rushed to make Batman-themed anything. Still, people bought them. And this showed the toy companies that if they could find the right license, they could practically print money. There was all kinds of toys in the 60s. Plastic modeled play sets, Army men, cowboys, Indian, Civil War stuff, the little die-cast metal cars, Barbies and all her accessories, electronic sports games, and Barbie dolls, baby dolls, electric ovens, steel kitchen appliances, G.I. Joe, pinball machines, talking toys and pull strings, like the See and Say, stuffed animals, Disney, Warner Brothers, that was Big Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Yosemite Sam, and Flintstones, electronic trains. Everybody had electric train. Lionel was a big one, H.O. Peanuts toys, racing games, miniature dollhouses. Wow, I remember miniature dollhouses. Portable phonographs, Legos were around then. Skipper Francie. Yeah, Francie was Barbie's cousin, I believe. And rocking horses. Everybody had a rocking horse. And Johnny Speed race car. That one I don't remember.
You don't remember that? Yes. I remember that one.
Johnny Speed race car?
Speed Racer. I mean,
no, Speed Racer is later. He'll be in the I think 70s or 80s.
So some of the games we had, I remember Strategio. Mousetrap. Mousetrap was a really good one. Hoopla. There was that guy, this Ouija board. Now, I don't know if that's the same as a Ouija board, but I remember they were kind of a game back then. I mean,
yeah, a Ouija. Q-U-I-J-A. Yeah, that's a Ouija board.
That's weird. I never knew it was spelled that way. Flipper Flips, Uncle Wiggily game, Mary Poppins, Winnie the Pooh, Candyland. I know everybody has had to play Candyland at least once.
Oh, yes.
Twister was another good one. Operation. I loved Operation. Leapfrog. Let's see. Kerplunk. That was another good one. Aggravation. Panic and Bird Brain.
I don't remember Bird Brains.
I don't either. I don't remember that one. Also, we had 1965 skateboards became a pretty big thing.
Ooh, I remember skateboards.
But they weren't exactly like they are now. I mean, they used to look more like we had the difference in
wheels,
bicycle seats, banana seat and regular seat. The skateboards back then reminded me of a banana seat because they were thin and kind of
and long, like
where
that.
now,
like a seat.
Yeah, now they look different.
Way different.
But yeah, I remember going through the Sears and Roebuck, circling everything that I wanted.
The wish book. That's what we used to call it growing up.
Yes.
One of the toys on there was Bozo. Everybody remembers Bozo the clown. You remember Bozo?
Oh yeah, I remember Bozo.
So you used to watch him? Now you've heard the according to everything I could find to read and that we read before the show is a false, a fallacy, but everybody remembers the episode where the kid was kicking the balloon in the big barrel and missed and said like shit under his breath, and Bozo busted on him and said, "That's a Bozo no." And the kid turned around to Bozo and said, "Shove it, Clowny, shove it." But
I don't remember that. But I don't know what year was that supposed to have been in?
Oh, 60s, early middle-ish 60s, like 62.
Well, that's probably why I don't remember. I was born in 62. So that's probably why I don't remember that particular episode. But I remember as a kid watching Bozo when I was little.
Right.
I just don't remember that particular thing.
Because Bozo itself was on from 1950 through 1970. Okay. But yeah, the kid told him, "Shove it, Clowny, shove it." I think that's hilarious.
Oh, God. Some of the stuff is crazy from back then.
True. My paragraph or your paragraph? Your paragraph, right?
Yeah, I'm going to read the paragraph and then you're going to do your ad. So we have 1970s. It was an exciting decade for toys. In fact, without the 70s, 80 toys would have never happened. There were loads of great toys in the 70s, but most of them were invented earlier and then perfected. Many of the toddler toys went unchanged from the 60s as Fisher-Price made the most of the molds they clearly had been using for 15 years. Legos were becoming more and more popular as the 70s rolled around. Popular TV shows received their own dolls. Barbie was undisputed queen of dolls, of course, and educational toys were in high demand. Games and toys in 72 were playing to parents' increasing ecological sensitivities. The Johnny Horizon environmental test kit allowed children to perform their own test for air and water pollution. Toy makers were faced with never before seen regulations. In California, state laws went into effect prohibiting manufacture and sale of toys related to violence such as bombs, grenades, and torture devices. So much for G.I. Joe, right? Everyone loved the C&C. Almost everyone I've ever met had one. I swear they must have sold 10 million of those things. As the late 70s emerged, it was a necessity for the toys to be electronic in some way. Electronic toys had been gaining popularity ever since the 60s, but by 79, if the toys didn't have blinking LED lights, then little boys didn't want them. Young girls were still pushing towards mommy toys. This was no different than the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Little girls still loved to play with kitchen sets, dolls in general, and pretend to be mommy. But that doesn't mean there wasn't the occasional girl out in the backyard blowing up GI Joes, and that was me. I liked playing with the GI Joes. I played with the Barbies, but I also played with the GI Joes combo. Kids had a much larger selection of toys to choose from in the 70s, and that brings us to one type of game that completely revolutionized gaming forever: video games. Video games were introduced into the public in the 1970s, and games and toys would never be the same again. So read some of the toys that they played with in the 70s.
Well, don't everybody remembers the slot cars, the electric race car sets where you set up the track and put your little car on them? Those things were great.
Yeah.
Talking phones, I don't remember. Child size steel appliances, I don't remember that. Electronic football, I did. You had one where you put it on there and it vibrated, and it didn't move very well, but they moved. Everybody had Hot Wheels and Matchboxes. Play School for the little kids. Remember the big wheels, the plastic little trikes that you used to ride around on.
Right.
Fisher Price had all kinds of baby toys. Barbie, CNCs, we mentioned them. Tonka trucks made out of steel, good stuff. They still had cowboy and Indian war sets. Unicycles were big then too. Roller skates also. Of course, roller skates have always been around. G.I. Joe. Star Wars figures started to come out in the 70s. Light-Brite. Everybody remembers Light-Brite. How about the $6 Million Man? Like you said, anything that they could get to get licensing on. Batman action figures, Superman, Spider-Man. Remember Starsky and Hutch? Their red and white Plymouth. Yeah, you used to be able to buy the toy truck, car. Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. The Charlie McCarthy ventriloquist dolls. I remember them. Let's see. Robots. I remember the one that had the little thing that came out his chest. It was you put batteries in it. My Rock'em Sock'em robots. Now here's some interesting thoughts on that. Okay, Rock'em Sock'em robot came out in the 70s during the Cold War. And during the Cold War, who were we against? The Soviet Union. And they were always depicted as being red. And America was always depicted as being blue. Well, the Rock'em Sock'em robots, guess what colors they are?
Blue and red.
That's it. And a German socialist made them, Marx. Well, not Karl Marx, but the Marx Toy Company. So that's kind of, interesting. Let's see. Stuffed animals, air hockey, pogo sticks. I had a pogo stick. Erector sets. Those things were fun. And very elaborate doll houses. And speaking of houses, if you go over to mojo50.com, that's mojo50.com, and click on that donate button, boom, right there in front of you. Look at that. There's one. It's the Mojo 50 2021 Christmas ornament. And you can only get that by going to mojo50.com. That's right. And it's not for sale. You get it gifted to you from the station. All you have to do is make a small $25 donation. That's a Hamilton and a Lincoln, just a pair of them. You give the two boys up and you can get your ornament as a thank you. Now, I would suggest sending in a couple of Benjamins, 3 or 4 or 7 of them, and get that many ornaments to hang on your tree. And that's over at mojo50.com. All you have to do is go and get you a ornament.
And if you go over to Ramika and get the PD one, so then you'll have your PD one and your Mojo one.
Isn't that so cool? You'll have a set.
Yeah, I got them for,
that's all.
Good memories and stuff. But you know how it is. So let's see. What all did I play with? Oh, remember Bionic Woman? I don't think I ever had the Bionic Woman. I know I played the little air hockey game before. Spirograph. Right. I played that. Lincoln Logs. I loved the Lincoln Logs. Raggedy Ann and Andy. I remember them
from when I was a real little kid, Lincoln Logs.
Well, I was a real little kid. I mean, I was like in the early 70s. I was only like 8 or 9.
Right.
And the Viewmaster, I played with that. What else?
I remember
did I play
them.
with? Easy Bake Oven. All girls had an Easy Bake Oven. And of course, Play-Doh. I think even adults still play with Play-Doh. I mean, what can I say? You know, we're all still kids at heart, right?
Right.
You don't have any toys that you still play with.
No, not that I can think of. Now,
So
I
if
did
someone came
have
up to you,
a few years ago when they had those magnetics that were really big
Mhm.
for the little kids. I might have
Mhm.
have 5 or 6 sets of those.
What about yo-yos? You don't like yo-yos?
Yeah, I've had a yo-yo before.
You wouldn't play with one if somebody had one and came up and started chit-chatting with you and, hey, let me try that thing out.
Well, I don't remember any of the tricks that I used to do, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't either, but just to like, you know,
It would
it
be
was
fun to try.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Spirographs always were.
Of course, like I said, I played with G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe. But you know, we had a lot of boys in the neighborhood. So it was like, you know, back then kids went out and played in the neighborhood and you just kind of played with everybody. And, you know, they were always playing with G.I. Joe. So of course,
right.
I got in the middle of it and played with them. Tonka trucks is funny because my dad worked for Yancey Brothers and they had, you know, their own version of, it's like a Tonka truck, but it's a Caterpillar.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So we always ended up with stuff like that, you know. Oh, and the electric football games. Yeah, I did play that.
Right. That was that the one where you put it up? It was it looked like a field, but it was a little piece of aluminum or tin, and the things would
vibrated. Didn't it vibrate? Yeah,
right.
And the little things moved or something. And then later on, they had one that you can actually move them. You know, then they came out with the one that was like a handheld game. I think that might be in the 80s. You know, it was like
I think it was.
You know, and I did play with that too. So hey, they had some, you know, but it's just like the games. A lot of the games that came out in the 60s are still huge today.
Yeah, they really are.
How many kids want to play Monopoly or, you know, Candyland? Candyland was a really good game, you know, stuff like that. So a lot of them stuck around. And then a lot of them went, we're fixing to come on a commercial about a minute or so. What was your favorite toy?
Goodness, hard to say. I had a whole bunch of stuff like I had G.I. Joes. I had airplane stuff. I never did have the Light-Brite that I could remember.
Oh, I love Light-Brite.
I don't remember having Star Wars stuff. I was already gone by that time. Lots and lots of toy guns. Yeah, lots and lots of toy guns. No Barbies. Wasn't into it. Roller skates, skateboard. Used to have fun on roller skates. Never could go backwards. I don't remember if we had any $6 Million Man toys growing up. I may have, but I don't remember.
I think I did. I had Barbie and Ken.
And did they have little Kenettes or Barbiettes?
Just Barbie and, well, they had some that were below her. We'll be right back with the second half. We'll hit the 80s and the 90s.
See you in 2. Did I screw up and read too many of them?
Huh?
Did I screw up and read too many of those out of the 70s?
No.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to skim over them and see what I actually played with back then. I'm looking at some of these toys from the 80s. Because in the 80s, I was buying my kids' toys. I wasn't really playing with them back then.
Well, see, in middle 70s, 75, I joined the service, so I quit. I played with big toys then.
Right. I was in high school getting high at that point.
Well, 73, 74, I was too.
I probably quit playing with Barbies in the mid 70s. Because back then, you played with toys as right before you hit teenage times.
Right.
Back then, I mean, I don't know. It's scary now because kids barely turned into a teen are already like, thanks
in
to
the 90s,
TV.
There's little write-ups instead of a list of all the toys. It's like Scud missile used by Iraq years ago. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. Times have changed so much. I want to go back to the 70s. And we're back.
Yay! So, we made it through the commercial.
We talked about the 60s and 70s toys at the first half. So now we're going to talk about the 80s and the 90s. So you want to read the 80s?
I surely will. The complexity of toys really exploded in the 90s. See, don't know. Video games became incredibly more sophisticated. Electronic toys could do truly amazing things, and other toys had artificial intelligence we never dreamed possible just 20 years before. Some toys could interact with the television. Others were silly. Purple dinosaur named Barney. The Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis gaming consoles completely revolutionized home gaming. It set the expectation level to 10 steps higher than any gaming consoles prior. And most popular toys were licensed toys. Gee, they learned that early on. Gone were the days of a regular toy. It had to be a toy from a TV show or a movie. It had to be an actual athlete with an actual team logo on it. If your toy wasn't licensed, you probably had a hard time selling it in the 90s. Action figures were so much better too.
You're on the 90s. You're supposed to be on the 80s.
I am on the sugars. How did I fire truck?
I was like, where is he reading?
Sugars, I was on the wrong tab.
Yes, you were.
Okay, well, seeing how I screwed up started the 90s, you want to do the intro on the 80s?
No,
Sorry.
You do the intro on the 80s.
All right, I screwed them up. Let's see, this is the era in which the owners of retro waste grew up. And we still have most of these toys in a box somewhere. Who are we kidding? We still play with them. I don't remember. The early 80s had a bit of a 70s hangover where most of the toys were very similar to the toys already existed in the 70s. But smaller size Star Wars action figures of 78 were so popular that almost all action figures had changed to the smaller size by 82. Remote controlled cars and trucks were getting much better in quality and were getting cheaper too. But all heck broke loose in 84 when toy manufacturers figured it all out. The key to toy sales, they discovered, was licensing. The same thing they said 20 years before. The licensing was nothing new, but seemed to lose some of its power in the 70s. In 84, saw an explosion of new toys like Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids, Masters of the Universe, Transformers, Care Bears, and many different kinds of awesome talking robot toys. The handheld electronic games also provided hours of fun for kids of all ages. Video games in the 80s grew from a basic Atari and the Nintendo NES game systems. The progress of video game manufacturers made in the 80s isn't impossible to explain in words.
Well, let's see. We had Big Wheel, which I liked Big Wheel. My kids loved to play with that. Of course, we had Chips toys, and you had the motorcycle and the Chips guys. You know, everybody likes them. Speak and Spell, that was a good one. Fisher Price. Let's see. Oh, and of course, what we were talking about before the break, the electronic held sports games, the football and all that stuff. Lego came out with Duplo, which were the bigger blocks. My kids loved those. We had the radio controlled RC cars, planes, helicopters, Sesame Street toys. Let's see, Dukes of Hazzards. A lot of them were named after TV shows, as you can tell. The video games, Atari, Sega, Nintendo. Let's see, handheld arcade games, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Hubert, A-Team, Barbie, of course, was still around, Cabbage Patch, and Care Bears, as you mentioned. G.I. Joe, glowworms. Now, remember glowworms. I really liked the glowworm myself. I thought they were cute.
I'm guessing they did just that. They glue.
Yeah, you hug them and they glow. See and Say. Let's see. There was even a
Did you say you hold them and they grow?
Yeah, you hold them and they glow. They would glow. They would light up.
Okay. A lot of things you hold, they grow.
We had Gremlins, Knight Rider, Mickey Mouse toys, Rainbow Bright. Everybody remembers Rainbow Bright. We had Snoopy and Peanut toys, Smurfs, Star Wars, Strawberry Shortcake, lots of dolls that were after shows. My Little Pony, Power Wheels, Transformers. Let's see, Pound Puppies. And then, of course, we had board games, which would be new, would be like Trivial Pursuit, murder mystery games, things like that, more adult aimed games. Ghostbusters action figures, Winnie the Pooh toys, Play School, electric train sets, and then the usual Matchbox and Hot Wheels and stuff like that. WWF wrestling, can't forget those. Stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the same stuff kind of upgraded to better things. And like I said, a lot of the shows and stuff that the kids watched had, you know, they came out with their own dolls, stuffed animals, stuff like that. You know, like I said, Barbie, and then you know, you had your A-Team and Starsky and Hutch and all that. So you had a huge variety, you know, depending on whatever show your kid happened to be watching. For me, it was my kids, because I was past the buying toys for myself. So whatever shows my kids happened to be watching was what they wanted. You know, if it was the A-Team, then they wanted the chip. I mean, if it was the A-Team, they wanted A-Team dolls. If it was Chips, they wanted the Chip dolls, stuff like that. So the 90s, as he already read, was more complex. Video games became huge, as you saw in the 80s. You know, Atari and Nintendo and stuff had already kind of started, but they weren't as severe as they were in the 90s. Some toys could interact with the TV. Others were silly, like Purple Dinosaur, Barney. Of course, everybody that had kids back then remembers Barney. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis consoles. You plug them into the TV. And then the licensed toys. So usually, like you said, if it wasn't licensed, it was hard to sell. Action figures were way better. So anything you see on there?
Let's see. Super Nintendo was a super sale. It was a 16-bit video game system that provided sharper colors, clearer sound, and faster action than the old 8-bit. Let's see what else. Persian Gulf War
trading cards.
A quick. True.
Yeah, trading cards became pretty big back then. Tops.
That's when they had all the gaming cards. And see, there was Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, wasn't it?
I'm not sure when Dungeons and Dragons came out. I am not sure about that.
But these ones said they published a Desert Storm Collector series of stickers and trading cards depicting U.S. military officers' weapons and hardware. I never saw those. That would have been cool. They had novelty items.
Mattel debuted a line of dark-skinned fashion dolls named Shani. That was for the African American culture. See, 93, we had Littlest Pet Shop, which was Kenner Toys. Mighty Max, Mattel Toys. Barney, of course, came out in 1993. Radio controlled doll, Mattel's Baby Walk and Roll. I think didn't she have skates or something? No, there was one that
there was one of them that had skates under her feet.
I don't remember which one that was.
Super Mario Brothers was in the 90s.
Trying to get to the top. Yeah, they don't go to the 2000s. Oh, we've got the article on it. Okay, so 39 must-have toys for 2021. Let's see some of the
so
top.
We've gone from really basic stuff to really expensive stuff.
Well, now everything is electronic. It's hard to find something. I mean, my grandkids, they've known how to mess with it. My granddaughter is 2 years old and literally sits when they want to keep her, when they're occupied, like watching football or whatever, she will sit there and play games on their phone. And she's 2 years old. So, I mean, it's crazy. So let's see.
One of the hottest ones this year is Little Live Pets Little Dippers playset. Magical water activated unboxing and interactive feeding experience. Exclusive unicorn fish.
That's actually kind of like, I got my, he's not the youngest. I mean, she's the youngest. So he is, I think, 4.5, maybe 5. I got him. It was like a little terrarium thing. Came with some dinosaurs and had some seeds and stuff. And you have to like spray it every so many days. So it, it's like a terrarium. I got him that for his birthday a couple of months ago. I usually kind of get their stuff according to what they're into. He was into dinosaurs, and so I found something like that. I tend to try to find something that's not just toy for them.
Well, how about the Magic Mixies Magical Misting Cauldron with interactive plush toy?
Little Tyke's
I'm
first
just
live.
looking on some of these things on them. They it kind of looks like a Furby, sort of. Is there any kind of write-up? No, there's no write-up. It just says Magic Mixies Magical Misting Cauldron with interactive 8-inch blue plush toy and 50 plus sounds and reactions. Toys for kids.
See, this is what all mothers need to get is Melissa and Doug Dust Sweep Mop Play Kit. Get them trained early.
There you go.
Let's see, what else is there? Lego Star Wars. See, I can't believe that kids that age are still, I mean, I don't know. I watched the original in the theaters and I have not watched any more since. I'm not a big Star Wars, I watched Star Trek as a kid, the series, but I wasn't into the movies. So I don't know. Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol Kids Digital Watch, Space Jam.
Here's the write-up on that magic mixie, whatever. Cast magic spells with this interactive cauldron that produces an adorable furry friend. Kids ages 5 and up use the easy to follow included instructions to complete their spell. Well, the cauldron makes over 50 sounds and produces spooky mist. Be sure to change your cauldron before you cast any spells to ensure the highest amount of magic possible. After children use their magic objects, they can enjoy hours of play with their new adorable plush.
And if we were all magical, we wouldn't have to worry about running out of food. But with things the way they are now, we have to check out www.preparewithmojo.com. You can save $100 off of each 3-month emergency food kit you purchase. Meals averaging over 2,000 calories a day, 21 varieties, up to 25-year shelf life. Meals in resealable heavy-duty 4-layer pouches with oxygen absorbers to extend shelf life. No MSG. All of it's grown and packed in the U.S. Tasty breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, snacks. Easy to prepare meals sealed into 6 rugged, water-resistant packets or buckets and free shipping and handling. So go to www.preparewithmojo50.com. I almost forgot that.
You did.
So now, let's see.
Over there, let's see, at China Mart, they have the Wow We Got to Glow Fairy Finder. Doesn't that point you to San Francisco?
I don't think I want to find any fairies myself. Barbie Career of the Year Music Producer Doll. Really? I mean, we're really giving her
she has a career now. Okay.
A career? I don't know. Toys are so, it's like, now the toys that you buy seem to be pulling you in a certain direction,
Tony's Tony Box Playtime Puppy Starter Set. The whole family will undoubtedly enjoy this small portable audio system. It plays classic sing-alongs that will be on repeat for the foreseeable future, and you don't have to worry about them fiddling with tech beyond their years. The speaker, available in 6 colors, is made of a material that's soft enough to handle but durable enough to withstand any accidental tumbles.
Oh, these are kind of expensive. You got your commercial? Might as well throw it in there real quick.
Yeah, we can. Have you been to RomikaDesigns.com lately? I know you held up the PD. Yeah, and the only way you can get that is to go over to RomikaDesigns.com. They have those. They have more Christmas ornaments. They also have that fantastic, marvelous snowflake that has a real pretty word all around it. It's so spiffy, nifty, and it's guaranteed to set grandma alight. And the only way you can get it is to go over to RomikaDesigns.com and try using the promo code MOJO50, and you can save yourself a little bit of dough. That's over at RomikaDesigns.com. Yeah, so cool. They got all kinds of stuff.
And now it's time for Spaced with Leprechaun.
I'm a huge space nut.
I love that.
I'm all full of hitting the wrong buttons today.
It's been one of them days.
Yeah, my neighbor decided to cut their grass, or they got the people over there cutting their grass. I got all that noise going. And,
you poor girl.
It is what it is.
Tomorrow, Monday, the 6th of December, at let's see, 1849 at 649. 5, 7.
So this is going to be at
10 minutes
close to
to 6.
sunset. Close to sunset, a little after sunset, maybe.
Yeah, a little after sunset. 10 minutes to 7, 1849. Because 1800 is 6 o'clock. So add 49 minutes and it will be 10 to 7. Okay. And what you get to see is you're going to see the moon and Venus are going to be about even with each other. And a little bit south of that, you'll be able to see Venus. So you got the moon, and a little below the moon, you'll have Venus. And they are in conjunction, which means they'll occupy the same amount of space as you're looking at them. Let's see.
So here it says, because I guess depending on where you're opening the website at, it gives you your local. So it's saying here around 5:46 Eastern time.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess it depends. Central time.
Yeah, mine says Eastern.
Wow.
Guess it depends on where you open it at.
Well, see, 6 o'clock my time would be 7 o'clock there. Yeah, it says the Venus and the moon will share the same right ascension, with the moon passing 1 degree and 52 minutes to the south of Venus. The moon will be 3 days old, so it's a brand new moon. Around the same time, the two objects will also make a close approach, technically, to the applause. Let's see, from Des Moines, the pair will be visible at 5:06. And if you're in the southwestern horizon, as dusk fades to darkness, they will then sink towards the horizon, setting at 2 hours and 39 minutes after the sun at 7:25. See, the moon will be at a magnitude of -10, so that'd be fairly bright, and Venus at a magnitude of -7, so you'll be able to see them both pretty good. And the constellation Sagittarius is where they will be located. The pair will be too widely separated to fit with the field of view of a telescope, but will be visible to the naked eye through a pair of binoculars. Let's see, there's a graph separating them.
Remember, I couldn't find them when we had the moon, and then I kept searching and I found them, but I couldn't get a picture through them because it was hard to maneuver the phone, and then I can still look.
So go out and try and see if you can see them tomorrow night.
At least I ain't got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
No. This is evening.
I know, that's what I'm saying with the moon. Remember, we were all up at like 3 and 4 in the morning in Zoom, sitting there trying to get pictures of the.
That was during the eclipse.
I know. So at least I can do it before I go to bed.
Well, see, and I'm just the opposite. I did better catching the one way early in the morning than I will catching the one at 7 o'clock. So
you're going to have to stay up a little later.
Yeah, I probably will.
If you want to catch it, you're going to have to stay up at least an hour.
This is true.
2 hours, maybe.
2 hours. Yeah. I'm so terrible. I fall out California time, 3 in the afternoon, but I'm awake at 11 o'clock at night. For everybody else, yeah, it's 6 o'clock East Coast, and I'm back awake. One my time would be 2. So yeah, I have really weird sleeping habits, and I don't know why.
I agree.
Weird.
You are. I agree.
That's what happens when you're short, fat, and funny looking like I am.
I won't argue with you about it. You're definitely, but you're very lovable.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of me to love. I mean, if I keep eating the way I am, there'll be 3 of me. Besides me, myself, and I'll have a whole trio of folks. I can start my own quartet or my own 6-string orchestra.
You're terrible.
That's terrible, isn't it? Terrible.
So you got anything interesting planned? You got anything interesting planned for the rest of the week? Like, besides getting or staying up so you can see that?
Well, besides the moon tomorrow, let's see what else is going on this week, or next week, I should say. I don't know off the top of my head. It's one of those sharp little pointy objects that keeps my hat on, so it's kind of hard to say right now. what else is going on? There seems like there's something happening next.
Wait. This morning you did the long live
Right, long
live. I
live
can't
with
talk.
Rhea
And
Bo.
then next Saturday you'll have Rock'em Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em Saturday at 12
Mhm.
p.m.
Mhm.
Eastern, and then Sunday Long Live is Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern,
Mhm.
and then us at 12 p.m. Eastern, and
And
then
then
Kinsey
Kinsey
comes
at
on at 3
3.
p.m. Eastern, and Holly was on yesterday at 5 p.m. Eastern,
5. Yeah.
and then Off
And if
Track
y'all
will be
aren't
on.
watching either of those, you're missing out. I
listening
really enjoy
anyway.
both of them. And right now, I know Beaver has a contest going on where you have to pick the time within so many minutes of when she's going to cry, because she always cries and she always gets you crying with her. And then Kinsey takes all of the Mojo shows and does a little thing. It's not little, it's 3 hours, but he airs, I think, 1 hour, and then the second hour is during his repeat instead of like ours is this show will be repeated. His repeat is the second hour, but he talks about the different highlights of the different shows. Y'all need to be listening to Damn It with Beaver and Tin Can Radio. Those are both very, very interesting.
Very much so. Yeah, let's see, Friday of this week, I have the open house. The city does a Christmas open house where they serve lunch and you go in and, like ham slices and stuff and little hors d'oeuvre things. And let's see, that's on Friday. And then next Saturday is the Christmas parade in the morning. Hopefully the weather will be nice.
Does that come right across in front of your house?
It surely does.
I'm jealous. See, I would watch stuff like that if it just out in front of my house.
Yeah, it's right there in front. And when they come by, they throw handfuls of candy. And it's a neat little, it only goes for about a mile. They go in front of the house, down up around the post office, back around to Main Street, and then back up the hill. They make just a little loop. It probably takes from the time the first vehicle goes in front of my house until they're going back up the hill, top of the hill, 30 minutes, maybe 45 at the most.
That's not bad though.
But it's a little, it's a little town, and the kiddies get Santa
candy.
is at the last of the parade, and he waves at the kiddies, and they make some nice floats. It's pretty cute. Sometimes they get the band from Elkton to come down from the high school, and they'll march. Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Lots of pictures. It is. It's not bad. How we doing on Tiempo?
We have about a minute.
About a minute.
Well, let's see. A minute.
They can get us both on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
Spreaker.
Where else are we?
We're on Spreaker. You have to look for Mojo 50, and we are on the Mojo 50 Spreaker.
That's right.
So, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh God, what was I gonna say? Darn it! I'm having a total brain fart.
Cranial fox spots.
Yes. I can't remember.
But it was quite poignant, I'm sure.
I'll think about it later on down the road.
Well, yeah, about 3 minutes after the show concludes, it'll be, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I do that frequently.
I don't remember what it was. So yeah.
Well, like I said, it'll come back to you.
Yeah, it will eventually. Oh, next week we're gonna be talking about blood. We're gonna have a guest on. So Miss Groupie, Miss Diana. She works in a hospital lab. So we're all gonna talk about blood and corona and some other things. So y'all have
be sure to join us.
Yeah. Should be very
The
interesting.
same Ain't You a Peach channel at the same Ain't You a Peach time right here on a Mojo 50.
We'll see y'all next Sunday. Bye.
Peace out, y'all.